Okay, I'm here with Riley, who is right over here. Riley is a Shih Tzu. How old is Riley? Almost 5-year-old Shih Tzu. And he has a resource guarding problem. He likes to bite. And there we go. And he's also got a lot of cortisol in his blood. We talked to the guardians about some things that they can do to help reduce that. But in this video, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that likes to resource guard. So I'm going to try to see if we can get him to take that. He may not cooperate because he's just so worked up. Now, resource guarding is not technically considered aggression, even though the dog will bite you, because it is very natural for them to guard resources in the wild. And so if they have food and another animal comes around, they have to guard that because that's their survival. But now when we're domesticated dogs, we don't need them to actually do that. So when dogs typically resource guard, what we typically do is we take it away. If you're going to guard that thing, well, I'm going to take it away from you. Well, that validates all of the dog's perceptions. So this exercise is a way to reverse that. So we're going to imagine and pretend that he has that bully stick right there, and he's into it. And I'm leave it, and I'm sure that he will be into it later on. Now, because he is a biter, and we want to keep making sure he's safe, we've tethered him to the desk here. And so you want to use that whatever tools you can to control the situation. We try to create situations so the dog doesn't have the ability to practice biting us or whatever it is. So I'm going to move around a little bit, and I'm going to have Kaylee go ahead and step back. So let's say that Riley's right there. I'm going to start approaching him when he has the item. Now, when I get to the point where he is uncomfortable, what he's going to do is he's going to freeze. And he's going to kind of lock his head down. That's the first warning. Most of us don't see that. We keep on going, we keep on going, we keep on going. And then we see that when they actually freak out and bite us, and we think that that's the warning. The warning actually came a long time before. So let's say I'm approaching Riley, and I get to here, and this is like, say, 10 feet. And Riley freezes at this point. I'm watching the dog very carefully as I approach. So I stop. Riley might actually take it. Eventually will. So I stop at 10 feet. I recognize I measure this distance, and I turn around and I walk farther away so the dog relaxes. Then what I do is I stop here at 11 feet. I roll a high value treat at the dog, then I turn and I walk away. The next step is I would approach from, and this is the living room, we're just shooting it, so if you have a basement where it's a little bit more open, that's ideal. Then you want to approach from this angle, from this angle, from this angle. So what we're saying is when humans approach, not only are they not going to take your stuff, they're going to make your situation better. They drop the most amazing treats you've ever had. Now, once you get to the point where you can come from all angles and he doesn't freeze at 11 feet, then I would try it again, and this time go to 10 feet and see if he freezes. And then you approach from all the angles. And let's say that I get to 9 feet. When I get to 9 feet, he freezes again. So I take note, okay, 9 feet is the distance that we need to stop at. So I would back up, walk far away, and I'd come back at 10 feet, Riley, throw another treat, and then walk away. And you want to always end on a success. So I approach 2 or 3 times where he's comfortable, he's not freezing, and then I walk away, and then we kind of let him do his thing. The next day we come back, or the next time we practice, it should be about an hour or so later, then we go back to that 9 feet again. And so you're going to ebb and flow based on how he feels, but the idea is not to let him react. If he barks, growls, or lunges, you push too far. You didn't read his warning signs. One of the little tips you can do is actually have somebody videotape it, so that way you can see when I approached, his ears did this, his nose did this, or he hunched over, or whatever it is. It'll happen so fast the moment you won't be able to see it. So, hey buddy. Yeah, he's like, if you reach over, I will try to bite you. Now, he bit earlier because he is so anxious and worked up, which is a separate issue. This is just for the resource guarding. So I want you to make a list of all of the things that he guards. He guards mom in bed. He guards his Kong. He guards certain toys. This is a high value item. This is a bully stick that most dogs would consider a high value item. Now, what we also would like to do is teach him a drop command. Now, to do a drop command, what we want to do is we want to find an item that is what we call a low-value item, a toy that he's allowed to have that he isn't particularly guarding of. And the way you do that is if this is the dog's head and he's got the object in his mouth, I just come over here and I just touch his nose with the treat, or I just hold it in front, make sure it's a really high-value treat like the ones we have. And don't tell him to drop, just wait. When he drops it, show no interest in it and pop the treat in his mouth, say the word drop, and then move away. So what we're saying is when you drop what you have, again, I'm going to give you something better than you have, and you get your original stuff back. That's a pretty good deal. So if you practice with low value items, then eventually you get to the point where he will do it with higher and higher and higher value items. And then you get to the point where you say drop and he spits anything out. And so we're kind of tackling this issue from both angles. You have any questions?
No, he's not doing it.
Of course he's not doing it. It's like you take your car to the shop and of course they don't do it. You don't, and that's okay because he's not in this mood. I think it's just because he's so worked up. But when he gets in that more, instead of thinking, oh man, he's in that mood, great, awesome, we get to practice this. So then, and then now the thing about it is, if you do this right, you don't have to have the tether. Because again, remember, he's not going to be reactive. Careful with your finger. But if you do, again, if he lunges or moves towards you, you move too close too fast. So you don't have to have this, because I feel a lot of people are like, but I don't have time to go get the leash and put him on. You don't have to. So have a plethora of these really high value training treats. Approach it, roll that treat in, and eventually you get better at a roll. It won't go that way. And then he takes it, and you've achieved a drop, and we've helped him understand that we're not going to take his stuff. And matter of fact, when we approach, it's a good thing. All right, well, this is Riley, and these are some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that likes to resource guard.